According to the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, when firms compete with each other, consumers get the best possible prices, quantity, and quality of goods and services. This is a basic, fundamental principle of free market economics, and one that the Epic Games Store chooses not only to ignore, but to aggressively circumvent with their exclusive deals. Hello and welcome to Risky Business. Sometimes I like to take on controversial topics, and this one seems to qualify, though I'm not entirely sure why. It really shouldn't be controversial at all. These are unrepentant anti-consumer business practices, and it doesn't take a master's degree in economics to understand why. Nevertheless, it seems like any time I express my disappointment with the newest Epic Games exclusive, there are at least a few folks who don't understand what the issue is, sometimes even taking it personally as if they have some kind of stake in the company. So here I will be discussing the problems with the Epic Games Store and their practice of exclusivity, and address some common arguments that people make in defense of these practices. When you're looking to purchase just about anything, typically you have a lot of choices. Maybe you choose to buy from Target because you like the clean, brightly lit store and you enjoy shopping there. Maybe you choose Walmart because it has a lower price, or maybe you buy from a local mom and pop shop because you want to support local business. Maybe you prefer the convenience of online shopping and try to find the best deal before settling on which website or seller you would like to buy from. Maybe some sellers offer a discount or a bonus item with your purchase as an incentive to choose to buy from them. There are a ton of factors that go into that decision, but ultimately, the choice is yours. Now, let's say that choice was taken away. The distributor of said item has made an exclusive deal with Walmart. The nearest Walmart is pretty far away from your home, and you've only been there a few times. But the place was a mess, the staff was rude, and you didn't even find what you were looking for. But now, you really don't even have any other options. Walmart now has no incentive to try and get you to choose their store. The choice has been dialed in. Sure, if we're talking about a regular commodity, like a couch or a TV, you could always simply choose a different model and shop elsewhere. But when we talk about video games, each one is a unique experience. There is no substitute. One of the reasons that gamers choose PC as their main platform is that we have options for purchasing games. While sometimes brand or storefront loyalty is a factor, by and large, we're hunting for the best price. Between Steam, GOG, Humble Bundle, and any number of other digital storefronts, we can use tools like cheapshark.com and other price tracking resources to find the best deal. As a result, many PC gamers have large libraries of games that they have acquired for a fraction of the retail price. This large market means different stores will compete by offering bigger discounts, or they'll include DLC or other perks. They're also encouraged to make their storefronts more attractive and streamline the user experience to attract more users to their product, unless the game that we want to buy is an Epic exclusive. The primary reason for Epic to use exclusives to drive traffic to their storefront is that gamers will not choose the Epic store voluntarily. There's no reason to. A common concern is that Epic Games is largely owned by Tencent, a technology conglomerate based in China. Tencent has a very troubled past, including allegations of plagiarism, including blatantly copying ICQ. This bad PR led to the monopolistic practice of acquiring significant shares of companies like Epic and Activision Blizzard in order to simply acquire assets instead of outright copying them. Tencent owns more of the video game business than any other company. Tencent has also been accused of using tricks to make their software appear less vulnerable than it really is, which leads to security concerns. The company has a working relationship with the Chinese Communist Party, in which they develop games to further the cause of Chinese nationalism, and have been accused of using their platforms to censor criticism of the Chinese government. The Epic launcher itself has been criticized for containing software which collects player data without consent, including demographic info and information gathered from the user's Steam profile, which means it's looking at files on the user's PC without the user agreeing to this. Less sinister criticisms include the launcher simply being rather poorly designed and unintuitive, with a poorly built UI, an unreasonable refund policy, poor security that can lead to data breaches, misleading terms of service, and a lack of features that many gamers value, including user reviews and social features. The whole Epic platform simply isn't very good, and it can't compete with Steam or even Origin or GOG. Exclusives were supposed to be a temporary practice that would give Epic's new store the ability to compete in a market where Steam has been dominating for years, and exclusives are still being released. The Epic product and user experience have not been improved. Knowing all of this, I ask you, would you choose to give this company your business? Many people wouldn't, which is why they have to resort to these strong-arm tactics to try and bully consumers into using their product. In a free market, vendors have to compete to win the business of the consumers. When that competition is circumvented in the way that Epic has done it here, that means Epic has absolutely no incentive to provide any improvement to the customer experience. If you want Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise, you have to purchase it through the Epic Game Store. This means Epic doesn't have to have sales, they don't have to improve their product, all they have to do is just continue to bribe publishers to get exclusive deals. When the marketplace has no competition, prices stagnate and innovation flounders. In a competitive marketplace, sellers have to find new ways to entice customers. This kind of business practice is lazy and directly detrimental to the consumer experience. It treats the consumer as a commodity that must be forced into doing business with them. If I have learned any one thing in my life as a gamer, it's that we have very poor consumer habits. This is the result of training and conditioning by video game publishers. For decades, we've been encouraged to pre-order games sight unseen to get exclusive bonuses. We buy remakes and remasters of games that we've already purchased, sometimes multiple times. In any other business, expecting your customers to buy your product before it's even released would be insane. Gamers are the only consumers who do this, and it bites us in the ass constantly. When is the last time you pre-ordered a game and the game sucked, or the launch was so terribly botched that you had to wait a week before you could even play it? On top of that, there's in-game ads, microtransactions, DLC that delivers virtually no content for the price. They nickel and dime us coming and going, and we just eat it up. We throw money at this hobby like nothing else, no matter how many times we get burned. Epic knows this, and like a shark smelling blood in the water, they take advantage with their exclusivity deals. They let a publisher keep a larger piece of each unit sold, and in exchange, the publisher keeps their game off any other online shop or platform. If this was done in any other market, it would never fly. But gamers are the most exploitable consumers in the world. Epic knows this and takes advantage of it. They know we want what we want and will buy it no matter what they do. But here's the kicker. Epic Games has lost hundreds of millions of dollars trying to compete with Steam by bullying consumers into using their crappy product. This business model is not only anti-consumer, but it also isn't working. By allowing the game publisher to take enough of the sales to offset not carrying their games on other platforms, Epic isn't making enough money for itself to actually turn a profit. In addition, they have minimum guarantees, which means that even if an exclusive title doesn't sell as expected, they still have to pay the publisher a set amount. They paid $10.45 million for Control. Since a lot of gamers, like myself, simply refuse to purchase any games on the Epic Games Store until they stop this ridiculous exploitative practice, they are going to be paying out a lot of those minimum guarantees. I suppose they can afford to do that with all that Chinese government money backing them. So now I want to talk a little bit about the common arguments that I've seen defending the Epic Games Store exclusivity practice. One is that this is no different from physical games being exclusive to a given brick and mortar retailer, and that's absolutely true. And that practice also sucks. All the above points still stand. It's harmful to the consumer. It gives the store no motivation to improve their service or the customer experience, no reason to offer discounts or incentives or price their wares competitively. It simply tries to bully the consumer into doing business with them. Some individuals have attempted to turn this around and point the finger at Steam. And this is one of the oldest tricks in the book, trying to escape a criticism by criticizing somebody else. It's like, why didn't you clean up your room? Well, my brother didn't clean up his room. It's not really going to fly with mom, right? So to start with, even if Steam were engaging in similar practices, it doesn't let Epic off the hook. Two wrongs do not make a right. But if we're going to indulge this argument, Steam has never held the exclusive right to any third-party title, only titles published by Valve, and that makes perfect sense to me. I have no issue with that. If a publisher wants to have exclusivity on their own titles that they published on their own platform, I think that's fine. Furthermore, Valve released all their first-party titles at physical retail, so it's all kind of a moot point. Steam became the #1 digital distribution platform on PC simply by being very good at what it does. They definitely had some hiccups in the very early days, but the difference is they improved their product and they learned from those experiences. We can only hope that Epic will eventually do the same. Sadly, the elimination of competition in the marketplace is not an Epic exclusive. They're hardly the first company to pull something like this. This is a mere microcosm of a process that has been ongoing for decades. Consumers are being given fewer choices all the time. Big box retailers have been driving local shops out of business for decades, and Amazon has almost completely taken over the online shopping space, with 40% of all online purchases made through this one single vendor. When I was a kid and the internet was new, there were so many online stores to buy from, and I purchased from different companies all the time. Now it feels like there are really just a few large ones. There does appear to be some bright side to all of this. Many publishers have rejected Epic's exclusivity offers or made public statements that they are not interested, and the list of high-profile titles on the Epic Games Store is dwindling. The publisher of Samurai Shodown 5 refused the offer. CD Projekt Red publicly stated that they were not interested in making Cyberpunk 2077 or any future title an exclusive, nor would Activision make Destiny 2 an exclusive, despite Tencent's large stake in their company. So it seems like publishers realize that consumers don't like being forced to use a specific store to buy their games. And they aren't going to make as much money if they only sell through that one store. I would have loved to buy Borderlands 3 when it first came out, but because it was an Epic Game Store exclusive, I simply went without, and I'm sure I'm not alone. Now, I'm not telling you to never buy games from the Epic Store. If they do the right thing and they offer a better option than their competitors, then that should be rewarded. And they should make an effort to stand out in the marketplace by offering a better customer experience. Give us something your competitor isn't giving us. For my part, I refuse to purchase any games on the Epic Store until they stop this practice of treating customers with such blatant disrespect. And I have too much respect for myself to do business with any company that would take such a lazy and contemptuous approach to trying to get my business. I do suggest that you demand that Epic respects you as a consumer and does the right thing to try to win your business in the right way. I hope you've enjoyed this video. What do you think of Epic Game Store exclusivity? Sound off in the comments below. I also have all kinds of videos about video games past, present, and future, so please be sure to check out my other content and subscribe for more. Social media links can be found in the description. Thank you, and until next time, game over.